I'm Molly Horak from the Horak Group with REMAX Boone Realty in Columbia, Missouri. And in this video series, we're going to be looking at the home buying process from an educational perspective. So first, we're going to be talking about some of the things that people are afraid of when it comes to the home buying process. And we're going to be taking the fear out of it. So what are some common things that people can be afraid of when they've never bought a house before and they're kind of scared to ask questions? Well, they might be afraid of their lack of capital for a down payment and closing costs. They might be afraid because they don't know what their credit score is, or they are pretty sure it's bad or not where it needs to be. They might be afraid because they have a lack of understanding and information about the home buying process. But hey, if that's you, you're here. So working on it. They might be afraid of a lack of knowledge about home maintenance costs. If you've been renting for quite a while, or you grew up in a home where people rented, you might not have a great background in how to repair things, how to call the right person for the job in front of you, and some basic idea of what it costs to do these things, because you might have only had to pick up the phone and call the landlord and have the landlord do it. So what does that look like, and how do we get past that? We're going to talk about it all on this episode. Check it out. So one of the fears that first-time home buyers have is a lack of capital for down payment and closing costs. That can be a big one, but there are a couple different solutions to this particular problem. Many cities and states and the federal government, they all have programs that help first-time home buyers get enough funds together to be able to get into their first house. Why do they do this? Well, home ownership is one of the best ways to build long-term wealth and generational wealth, and to break the cycle of generational poverty. So many cities have these first-time home buyer programs that offer money in the form of a low interest or even a forgivable loan for your closing costs, prepaids, and down payment. So look into programs that are available in your area. One of the best ways to check this out is to go to the Department of Housing and Urban Development's website, HUD.gov, and there you can click around and you'll find a website that will give you a list of all the different first-time homebuyer programs in your state. So for instance, if you're in the Columbia, Missouri area, we have two major programs. We have the MHDC program, which is like the state program. And then we have the Columbia First-Time Homebuyers Assistance Program. It's very rare, but I've had a client that actually qualified for both programs and was able to complete both programs and got like $15,000 towards her little $100,000 house she was getting. And she was very much set up for success. So try these programs if you don't have the funds right now to get into that house you're looking for, especially if you're in a financial situation where saving is just not something that is in the cards for you. I am a big Dave Ramsey person. Check out books. But I do understand that there are certain situations where it is just hard. One of my favorite transactions that I've been a part. Well, I have several of these stories actually. So one of my things is that like I will help you buy a house, whether it's $2 million or $30,000. And I'm not going to like discriminate on you based on how much I'm getting paid on it. Right. So I've had clients that were homeless, living in their cars until the VA program, was able to step in and give them the down payment funds, not down payment funds, but give them a path through the VA home loan program to get out of that situation and into a home. And I've had clients that were, single moms working minimum wage, that if it weren't for the Columbia City program, would not have been able to have a home with, you can't even rent a home for the tiny amount that the mortgage was on this little like $45,000 house that I'm thinking of from this particular client. So yes, the best way to do this is to save up, 20% down and the closing costs and have everything ready to go and have perfect credit and have a great income and all that. That's not in the cards for everyone. And it's not in the cards for everyone right now. And if you find yourself in a really difficult situation, there are programs to help you out of it. So take that little bit of fear off yourself and ask for help and ask your agent what programs there are out there, what you need to work on. Because sometimes the answer is, you don't qualify for this program. You're going to have to actually do some work to make this happen. Or you almost qualify for this. Here's what you need to do to make this happen. Whatever it is, ask your agent, ask your lender, ask all the people in your life that you need to ask for help to make this happen, to get yourself out of whatever the situation is, because there is a path out. There's almost always a path out. So many potential low-income buyers have not established credit or maintained a good credit history. Lenders want to help you buy a home. So to do that, they may need to counsel you on your credit and how to improve it over 6 months to 2 years. If you do the work, you can repair your credit over time. There are also people on the other end that want to take out a loan to purchase their home, but it's not that they have bad credit, it's that they have no credit because they've never had a credit card. They've never had a home loan before. They've never had a car loan. They've just paid cash for everything. So in those cases, you're going to want to go to a lender that does manual underwriting, where they take into account all the things that the credit score process doesn't take into account. Like, did you make your rent payment on time? Are you paying your utility bills on time? That sort of thing. So a good lender for that would be Churchill Mortgage. I am a Dave Ramsey ELP. Hello, look, books. And that is one of the mortgage companies that he recommends all the time for people who have that side of the credit problem. But if you do have credit, it's just low, working on it and working with your lender on strategies for the correct way to repair your credit over time can do wonders. So another fear is just a total lack of understanding and lack of information about the home buying process. One thing you should be aware of is that law actually mandates that people tell you what in the world's going on with your home buying process. So your real estate agent should be explaining things to you. Your attorney, if you're in an attorney state for real estate, should be explaining what things are happening. And your lender should be explaining everything. And they all know that. So if you have questions and their explanations aren't answering your questions, don't be afraid to ask. Sometimes they just don't know what you don't know. So tell them, I don't know what you mean by that term, or what happens next? Okay, I just signed this paperwork. Does that mean I'm under contract? No, that means you made an offer. Whatever it is, ask your agent, ask your lender, ask your attorney, ask your title agent, ask the questions that you need answered so that you have a better understanding of what's going on. And don't be afraid to ask, because they do this every day. They know you're going to ask questions. They just don't know which questions you're going to ask. And they can't answer all of them before you ask, because then they'd be talking forever. Because we know a lot of stuff. So don't be too worried about it. If you're watching a video like this, you're probably doing a lot of your own research, and you're probably going to know a lot of these answers real quick. If you're watching a video like this, you might be signing up for a first-time homebuyers class somewhere. That would help. Those are great first steps. If you are afraid of the home buying process, reach out to a realtor, reach out to a lender, and ask them for the education first. Tell them, you're not looking to buy in the next 6 months. You're looking to buy in the next 2 years. And you just need to know more about the process so that you can go into it with your eyes open. A lot of agents, like me, have a lot of this stuff on autopilot. So if I have someone who says, look, I'm looking to buy a house in the next 3 years, like, fantastic. Ask me all the questions you want to ask me, but I'm going to set you up in this auto email where it sends you basically a class of videos about the home buying process, videos about the selling process when you become a seller eventually, videos about the home ownership process, videos about how to do home maintenance. And it walks you through all of this so that if you do the work of actually watching the videos and reading the information, you go into your home buying process incredibly well informed and prepared. Then you can also just, play around on YouTube sites like this one, and, you'll get a lot of stuff too. But nothing beats actually talking to your agent and asking the questions and getting it straight from the source. All right, so our final little fear that we're going into on this class is a lack of knowledge about home maintenance and costs. A lot of people, if they've rented their whole lives, their families have rented their whole lives, they are going to be first generation homeowners in a long time, might not know what to do when something breaks. That's okay. A lot of our parents didn't teach us what to do when something breaks. At the end of the day, if your landlord can pick up the phone and call a handyman to fix the thing, so can you. And it'll cost you less than your landlord is charging you to do it, because your landlord has to build into your rent all the cost of the maintenance. Yeah. Did you think you were just paying to physically occupy it? No. You're also paying for the vacancy. You're also paying for the maintenance. You're also paying for the damages that you're going to cause from messing the place up while you live there. All of that's factored into your rent, and then the fees. And if you mess it up real bad, there's additional fees. So if your landlord can call someone to fix something, so can you. You can also learn to do it yourself. A lot of municipalities will have classes to help you learn different skills. So look into some of those things. There's also a lot of YouTube channels out there that are really simple, just like text into it, what your problem is. My toilet won't stop running. And you type that into YouTube and you're going to get a lot of videos of just like some dad or some plumber like showing you how to fix the float on the back of your toilet or different little things. I actually have an uncle who occasionally like will put up little YouTube videos on like dad advice on how to fix a thing. It's like, I know he's making it for my cousins. It's pretty cute. But there's a lot of that kind of content out there. And if you just describe the problem, the internet will provide some sort of solution. Is it always the right solution? No, but you might have described the problem wrong. So you're also probably going to need to call a guy at some point if it's a big thing. Okay, just to cover my bases, don't go doing your own electrical work. Don't go doing major plumbing work. Don't go soldering stuff if you don't know what you're doing. But if it's little stuff like my toilet is running, you can probably watch a YouTube video and figure out how to do that. And if not, pick up the phone. You can always call someone to come and fix it. I would always suggest calling at least 3 different people, getting a ballpark understanding of what they charge before just accepting the bill, because they might be some charlatan asking for way more money than it's worth because you sound scared on the phone. Don't sound scared on the phone. Get a number, go call 3 guys until you have a good understanding of what that thing should cost. So, all right. I hope that really helps. If this has been helpful to you in any way, be aware that, hey, we are coming out with more, and we're doing a lot more little videos on YouTube to try to help you understand the home buying, home selling, investing, and renting process. So Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.